Like in basketball, it was different because I expected to win. Like I expected us to win championships. I expected us to win 5. Quite honestly, I expected us to win 8. And so when you have that vision in sports, it's a direct competition. Like I know how hard they're working. I know how hard we're working. I know what their strategy is. I know what ours is, So it's a little different. So when we went in the NBA, it was like, yeah, we expected to do that. But now we're going to come back and we're going to do it again, And so it's that constant like, all right, you're churning. You win one championship. I'm back in the gym the next day, working, getting ready for the next one. Now, it's different because it's not about the awards. You just wind up trying to create something that's going to inspire someone that hopefully, through that inspiration, they can inspire somebody else. And what I've come to learn as my career went on is that's more significant than any championship. Is how do you connect with somebody that can then connect with another? And then with whether the awards come or not, that's for, the Academy Award body to decide. Yeah. But, like for us, it's just to try to create things. No, it's no pressure because, it's their process to own. Like I have knowledge, information that I've gained, through playing. So like the little details of things I can teach at a high level. But ultimately it's them.
Yeah, you seem very still and detached about it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's the kids love playing basketball, and so that's the anchor of it all. They come and they play and they learn and they have fun and and they compete and they challenge themselves and one another and they just get better every day.
Yes.
Yeah. So like the first novel we did was the Wizenard series. It was important for that to be basketball because I wanted the first story to be one of empathy and compassion. And in team sports, if you don't have that, you can't win. Right. And so it was important to tell the tale of a basketball team dealing with their own personal fears and have those fears and insecurities lead to empathy and compassion for others. Right. And with the second story, I wanted to look more internal, individually, and look at how do you deal with the inner challenges, the kind of the self-negotiation that takes place inside of our own heads. And there was no sport better than that than tennis. There's golf, but tennis, you have more movement, which to me symbolizes life in general, because there's a lot going on, right? There's the elements in tennis that you have to deal with as you deal with in golf, maybe not to the same extent, but they're still there. And then there's the confrontation with the person across the net from you.
Yes.
Right, as well as the strengths and weaknesses in your own movements and how you feel in your own body. And because of that, it was important for this story to be a tennis story. Like, you're out running on a track, working out, and you start talking to yourself saying, man, my knee is really sore right now. Maybe I'm doing too much.
Sounds like me.
Maybe I need to back off, Man, my lungs are burning. Maybe I can just slow down here. I'll do like an extra 2 sets tomorrow. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right? That sort of stuff.
Yes.
Like that stuff's dangerous.
Yes.
And that's when you just got to say, you know what? I'm not negotiating with myself.
Yeah.
The deal was already made. The deal was made when I set out at the beginning of the summer and said, this is the training plan I'm doing. I signed that contract with myself. I'm doing it. Throughout that process, you'll start talking to yourself like, man, I think I need to, nope. No, this is non-negotiable.
Yeah, non-negotiable.
Yeah. I had a teammate that spoke to me and said, hey, Kobe, I just want to feel like as a teammate, you need me. I was like, well, duh. I can't, like that was my immediate reaction.
Yeah.
Like, dude, yeah, of course. But I had to kind of think about really what he was saying and where that was coming from for him. And his story and his journey and what that meant to him. And that opened my eyes to there's a bigger game being played. It's not just basketball, but it's the emotions of each individual and the backstory that they're carrying with them, the baggage that they're carrying with them. And if I really want to be a champion and be a great teammate, I have to understand what those mean to help them become better and in turn, help me.
Yeah. And do you think this content is going to help all the content you're creating here at Granity? Is that for you to help build better bonds between parents and kids? Like, are you hoping that the podcast, for example, like kids are going to listen to it on the way to school or on the way back? Or like, how are you imagining people consuming the work?
Yeah, I imagine it in different ways, but like ultimately people always figure out a way to do it that's comfortable for them. But like, which is why and everything that we do, we try to create the highest quality of product, right? Like, people will sit down and tell me, they'll say, okay, well, audiobooks, a very small percentage of people listen to audiobooks. We don't really have to invest too much in doing audiobooks. And what? Excuse me? No, because what if that one person just listens to audiobooks? That one family enjoys audiobooks. They have to get the best experience that I could possibly give them. So that means using a London orchestra. That means doing full symphonies. That means having Felicia Rashad read the stories. Like, it means everything. The books themselves. I got this all the time. There's no money in making books, man. Nobody makes money in books. And I'm sorry, you want to make a book with using what material? You know, like, I'm like, yeah, because children matter. So like, I don't know how they're going. I imagine how they're going to be consuming content, but ultimately, it's my responsibility and our responsibility at the studio to make every single thing that we put out the highest quality possible.
Yeah.
Well, the Punies for sure. Like the Punies, I was like, when I first made the Punies, we're going to release it in the summer. I think we released it in August, I think it was August around the same time. But in my mind, I was saying, okay, parents are going to listen to this every Saturday morning, because I know I'm in the car driving my kids to soccer games and volleyball games and stuff. So parents can listen to this with their kids in the car as they're driving to sporting events. Like, that was kind of what I had in my mind. And then when it came out, it's like, teachers were using it more so than anybody in classrooms and doing like classroom reports on the Punies and all sort of stuff. So, never know.
It seems like you study life a lot, right? Like when you're talking about all of this imagination, which stems from your own work. Like, for example, like when you're dealing with empathy and compassion, it's reflected in the content. When you're going through these visualizations of what could this look like, it goes in the content. You study life a lot. What currently are you studying, and what kind of gets your imagination really growing right now? Like, what keeps that moving for you?
There's a certain element of truth in everything. And the creativity generally comes from personal experiences first, and then you kind of look on a broader scope of, okay, how do you take something extremely personal and then channel it in a way for masses to understand or get their arms around, sort of thing. But it always starts in the element of truth, and then you start unpacking that by sitting in thought and figuring out like character and who is this person, and who's his family. And then that's when I start getting in trouble. Because it's like the questions don't end. So I have like books and 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 books of backstory, because it's not good enough just to say the character's this way. Why are they that way? Well, the parents, where do the parents come from? Where's the dad come from? Why are they raising a kid this way? And then, what does it have to do with the economy that's around them? And just one thing leads to the next, and then you're just writing all kinds of stuff.